building a home from scratch and designing it is that connection with your architect is deeply personal. I know with Tara and Hedda, she started off with how do you see yourself in your home? What do you want to use it for? So she was immediately thinking about the future state and like what resonated with us, and then she took that away and kind of created the vision. Actually, 2 visions. Really, that was a really nice part of the process as well. Was she asked us how we wanted to use the home, and then she asked us about some ideas on like the design, and kind of just showing her some pictures, and then she took that away and then came back with 2 pretty unique visions. And actually, we would probably have been happy with either of them. They're very different, but we went with this one, and we never looked back. Like, very happy with how it turned out. We wanted something that kind of stood out a little bit and was unique, but also felt like a home, but also felt rooted in this kind of community, which is like pretty authentic, vintage Tahoe, like idyllic from like ages ago.
Yeah.
And so what I like about this one, it's modern, but it's simple and elegant. It really fits in with the surroundings.
What was great working with Hedda was that, we weren't kind of just, like, there was the creativity to come up with different solutions.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Like, an example would be, like, the wood siding. There was originally, like, a certain idea for it. And then, it was coming out of Canada, and there was like, a trucker strike, and, that all of a sudden really spiked. And so our contractor, suggested a few, and, Hedda has a great relationship with our contractor.
That was key.
So Tara was able to kind of look at it and make sure that we could find something that kind of met our original budget. And we didn't feel like we were having to compromise. And kind of talking about how Hedda worked with us during construction was the electrical layout. It's like Tara had done a layout, but then, we all came, Tara and myself and the electrician all met on site, and we went through every single room. And I think it's also like Hedda's openness to looking at other ideas, and like not just being like, well, this is my plans, but like the electrician having their suggestions and incorporating those. And it just kind of added to the original design. It was wonderful.
I appreciated that she had a really good relationship with the contractor, and I know she would go to their office and work with them. I know she was on the phone with them. I know she'd come out and like look at details. And so because we don't live up here, we were all the way down in the Bay Area. And so just having the knowledge that she was on top of it took a lot of kind of anxiety off of us.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure off. I felt like a lot of times we were presented more the solution instead of like, here's all the problems we have. So I would say that was really important for us to get through a lot of the challenges we faced. I know going into it, I was warned by people who had either just done major renovations or built their own homes, like, you're gonna be in that house and you're gonna be like, oh, I should have done that differently, I should have put that there, this there. I honestly, like, there's nothing like that. And they talk about their architects, and their architects, again, don't come in with like a real creative vision or original. It's just like kind of more standard, or they're just really hard to work with, almost like a transactional relationship you would have with a lawyer, almost.
Here we are sitting in your home. Tell us about the experience.
I would say it was very collaborative. I think like the key thing, we started out, like he said earlier, with her kind of asking like, how do you live? How do you envision it? And I felt like she listened so well. Like she really knew kind of what were the key things that made building a home to us, and then brought in those elements. And so I think...
and not just a house, but a home.
Yeah, exactly. And I think her ability to listen and hear us, and you can tell now we're like, sometimes we have strong opinions. So also how to sometimes meet the middle ground between the two of us.
Yeah. Actually, she was a very good arbiter.
She was our marriage counselor. But like we can't make a decision now without her blessing it.
Yeah, when we disagreed, I'm like, well, just ask Tara.
Yes, because I mean, she, it was true. It was like, again, we had that big trust because, she had the vision, she kept it, but she listened so well. But it wasn't overwhelming because, she kind of gave us a cohesive thought. So, it was a lot of things to pick. I mean, you're picking out everything in a house.
Sure.
Oh
I'm
my
afraid
gosh.
that can be a little overwhelming.
Down to the, toilet.
Yeah.
She gave us options, so we were still choosing, but she didn't give us like 10 options. She gave us kind of 2 or 3 options, and they could kind of mix and match in that.
But I think Tara was very decisive when she needed to be. So that was key. Like, I don't think it wasn't very wish-washy, but it's your choice, but this is what I think. And I think that like allowed us to have a lot of trust in the direction as well.
Yeah, she has conviction on the design.
Yeah, exactly. She
That
believed in
helps
her
you
design.
make your decisions easier.
Oh yeah, way easier. Yeah.
She could back up the reasoning behind why she recommended a certain decision.
Yeah.
Got it.
If you want something that's more, I think, again, more organic and more collaborative, then I think Hedda is your
So
good choice.
that's the big recommendation. It's like if you want something that's going to be more unique to what the clients are going to want, that's going to be like unique to them, Hedda would be the right choice because it's going to be coming from who they are.
I think so.
And then working with Tara, who's going to be like, all right, who are you?
Yeah.
Let's pull that out of you to get you what you guys want out of your place and your space.
Yeah.
Would you guys recommend Hedda to a friend, neighbor?
Nah.
After everything that you've said, it's just like...
Maybe not.
We already have, many times. We have a friend that's one of my daughter's classmates that we saw, and I knew they'd been talking about a remodel. And I was like, oh, we should check if they have an architect yet. And it turned out they did, because I was like, if not, we're going to recommend Tara, of course.